Hi everyone, you're all welcome back to my channel. If you're just coming across my video for the first time, you are all welcome, and to all my returning subscribers, you are also welcome. So in today's video, we'll be learning how to make a strapless corset top without that. As you can see on me on the screen right now, it is a very easy method and a very simple method. You can make it in minutes. So if this is what you're helping to learn, please stay tuned to the end of this video, and please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So I have this leftover Ankara fabric in like 1.5 yard, and I'll also be making use of this normal lining. And then I have this bra cup in size 44. My actual bust size is 40, but I'm making use of this size 44 to make it accommodate my bust well. And I also have this sewable boning. I'll also be making use of an stay as well. This is a black stay, do not get confused, and also this black fabric for the boning case. So first we are going to be drafting the front pattern. So I have marked the length of my top, which is 20 inches. So I'm going to be marking the remaining vertical measurements. So I marked 10 inches for my bust point, I marked 14 inches for my under bust, and then I marked 16.5 for my waist length. So I'm going to extend all the lines. So next, we're going to be marking the shoulder measurements divided by 2 on the shoulder for me, which is 8. On that point, I came down by 1 inch. So from that 1 inch point, I marked my armhole depth for me, which is 8. So now I'm going to extend the line like so. So this will serve as our chest line. So I'm going to label it. Now I'm going to extend my armhole depth line like so. Next, we're going to mark our bust span, which is our nipple to nipple divided by 2. For me, it is 4. So I'm going to mark 4 on the under bust line, on the waistline, on the length of the top, and then my bust and chest line. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my ruler to connect all the points to form a straight line like so. So we don't really need the neckline or the armhole area or the shoulder slope, but we're still going to draft it anyway. So I marked 3 inches on the shoulder, and I went ahead to draw my shoulder slope. So for the neckline depth, I just came down by 4 inches, and then I used my French curve to draw the neckline like so. So all those parts are not needed. It is just for those that don't know how to do that. So on the armhole depth, I marked the midpoint, and on that midpoint I came in by 0.5 inch. And on the chest line, I marked my bust measurements divided by 4, as you can see. So I'm just going to use my French curve to draw the armhole curve like so. This is for those that don't know how to draft the yoke, so the yoke part is not really needed. So now we are going to go ahead and draft out our cup part. So all we have to do is just place the bra cup on the under bust, on that bust span line, and then we're going to trace it out like so. As you can see, this is a very easy method. Just pay close attention to how I'm drawing it. As you can see, can you see the way I drew or the way I traced it out? It is very easy. So now we're going to input all our body measurements. So on the bust line, I marked my bust measurements divided by 4, and then on the under bust line, I marked my under bust measurement divided by 4. On the waistline, I marked my waistline divided by 4. On then for the top length, I marked my hip measurement divided by 4. So now I'm just going to add 1.5 inch sewing allowance to all the measurements. So I'm just going to add 1.5 inch. Now I'm going to use my ruler to connect all the points to form our body measurement like so. So I'm just going to use my free hand to blend it in like so. So on the waistline, I came down by 2 inches. So I'm going to use my French curve to connect it into the hem of the top. So I felt the 2 inches I came down by was too low and the curve will not really show. So I decided to move up a bit by like 1/2 inch. So when we sew the top, the curve will show very well. So now we're going to add allowance to the cup area. So I'm just going to go in by 1/2 inch all around the cup area like so. So I'm going to mark the 1/2 inch round. So this half an inch we are marking all around will serve as a sewing allowance for when we are joining the cup to the body. So I'm just going to connect all the points like so. So we're going to be cutting from that allowance point. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my front pattern. Just pay attention to how I am cutting it. So for the back pattern, I have marked my zipper allowance line, which is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to place my front pattern on the back pattern paper like so. I'm going to place it after the zipper allowance line, and then I'm going to go ahead and trace it out like so. So now I'm going to extend this line like so. So this is the back is now equal with the front. So now on the hem of the top from the zipper allowance part, I went in by 0.75 inch, and from there I connected it into the upper part like so. So this is to avoid zip bulge. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. So that's all for the drafting of the back pattern. So as you can see, the sides are equal. So now we're going to start cutting our fabric. So first we're going to cut out the covering for the bra cups. So I folded this size of fabric into two, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold it again because we're going to be cutting for the two cups together. So I'm going to go ahead and fold it again like this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out like so in a semicircle manner, and then I'm going to notch the middle. So I'm going to open it up like so, and then I'm going to go in by about 0.75 inches on both sides of the fabric, as you can see me doing. So I'm just going to cut from that point to the middle. I'm going to slant the cut to the middle. I'm also going to cut the other side. Just pay close attention to how I'm doing it. So I have two pieces each for each cups. I'm still going to show you how we're going to use it to cover the cups. So I've gone ahead to pin down my front pattern on my fabric. So I'm adding half an inch allowance at the hem and also at the top of the pattern. We've added allowance on the bra cup area already. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out like so. I've also added half an inch allowance at the upper and the hem of the back pattern. So I'm also going to go ahead and cut it out like so. So I've gone ahead to cut out these tiny pieces for our boning case. It is about 1.25 inches wide, and for the bra cup covering, I've cut out my stay and my lining. For the front piece and also the back piece, I've cut out my stay and my lining as well. So for the bra cup covering, we're going to join the middle part of the fabric we cut for the bra cup covering. So this is what it looks like after joining the pieces together for each cups. So now we're going to place the fabric on the cup like so, but before that we're going to go ahead and sew a dart intake on the bra cups in the middle. So this is how it looks like after stitching the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and cover the bra cup like so, and then I'm going to use my pin to hold the fabric in place. So just pay attention to how I'm going to be pinning it down on my cup. So I'm going to pin it all around firmly. Make sure the fabric is firm on the cup before you pin it down. So you pin it down firmly all around like you see me doing. So after pinning it firmly, we're going to head over to the machine and stitch down the bra cup on the fabric all around at the tip so as to make it firm. I'm also going to do that for the second cup. So this is how it looks like after stitching down the cup on the fabric, or after stitching the fabric on the cup. So now I'm just going to go ahead and trim out the fabric like you see me doing. Just pay close attention to how I'm trimming it so you don't over trim. So I'm also going to go ahead and trim the second cup like so. You have to be careful when trimming it. and make sure there is enough allowance, especially at the upper part of the cup, at least half an inch. So this is what our cups look like. So now we're going to take the front piece like so, and then we're going to open it up to the right side. So what we want to do now is to stitch our boning case. So we're going to place our fabric that we cut out for the case like so, and then we're going to fold it on both sides like so, and then we're going to stitch it down on both sides to create the boning channel or a boning casing. So I'm going to rule how I want the boning casing to be. I'm going to draw the straight line with my ruler to all the place I want my boning to be. So that's what I'm doing right now. You can decide to do any pattern you want. It can be slant, it can be straight, but for me, I'm just making it straight. So it is on these lines I'm going to stitch my boning channel. So this is how it is looking after stitching the boning case, as you can see. So the next thing we want to do now is to insert our boning. So I'm going to start inserting the boning now, like you see me doing. So guys, if you have a plastic boning, it is advisable to use a plastic boning because it is so much stronger. So this is how it is looking after inserting all the bonings, but I was not satisfied with how it was not so firm because of the sewable boning I used. So I'm going to double the bonings. So that's why I said if you have a plastic boning, it will be so much better to use a plastic boning. But this sewable boning is not strong, so I'm doubling it. So this is how it looks like. As you can see, it is very strong now and firm after I have doubled the boning. So the next thing we want to do now is to join our bra cup, is to join the cup to the body. So this is how we are going to join it, as you can see. Also the second cup. So I'm going to head over to the machine now and show you how we are going to join the cups neatly. So I have stitched one of the cups, so I'm going to be showing you how to stitch it with the second cup. As you can see, I'm stitching it neatly and steadily. It is very easy. So I'm just going to notch the cup part so that it will reach the end and to be very equal. So this is what our top is looking like after stitching the cups. As you can see, it is very equal and neat. So now over to the lining. I'm going to go ahead and stitch the bra cup covering. So just like we did for the main fabric, I'm going to stitch or join the pieces at the middle. I'm going to sew it at the middle. So I'm going to head over to the machine now and do that. So this is how it is looking after joining the middle. So this is how it looks like. So I'm gonna need to pin it round the cup. On the cup, I pinned it at the edge like this, so it will be easy for us to trace it out. So we're going to follow the pins to cut it out since we pinned it at the edge, so you won't go and over trim or over cut. So we are going to follow the shape of the cup. We should have done this when we were cutting the main fabric, but I forgot. But then this is another method of cutting the lining. So I'm gonna have to cut out the second bra cup covering for the lining as well. So now we're going to be joining it to the main front pattern. So we're going to stitch it all around like we did for the main fabric. So this is how it is looking like. So now we'll go ahead and stitch the lining to the main fabric. So we're going to place it right side facing right side like so. So we're going to first of all sew the upper part, the chest part, all around like so. And then I'm also going to stitch down the lower part. We're going to cover up the lower part. So we're going to also stitch down the side, but the other side we're going to leave it open. So we're going to use that part to turn it out to the right side. So this is what the front part is looking like after stitching the lining. As you can see, I've stitched down the part where I turned it to the right side. So for the back, we're going to go ahead and stitch the lining for the back as well. So we're going to open up the right side like so, and then we're going to place the lining on the main fabric, right side facing right side. We're going to stitch this side, the upper part and the lower part, and then we're going to stitch the zipper area halfway through so that we can turn it through the remaining opening. I'm also going to do the same for the second part. So this is how our back pattern is looking after stitching it. As you can see, I have stitched down the part where I turned it to the right side. So now I'm going to place my front and back pattern together, right side facing right side, like so, and then I'm going to go ahead and stitch down both sides and install the zipper as well. So this is what our top is looking like after stitching both sides, and I've also gone ahead to stitch my zipper. As you can see, I installed the zipper neatly. You can see the inside, it's very neat. And I've also gone ahead to notch the allowance inside so that that place will not be squeezing, the sides will not be squeezing, the shape will come out nice. So I'm gonna ahead to fold the allowance at the upper part, as at the armpit side, at the sides, and I've stitched it down so it will not be showing outside your top. So guys, thank you so much for watching till the end. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So see you guys in my next one.